stream. I apologize. Apparently, we had a little bit of an issue with the audio, and that was because I didn't turn my microphone on. So if you're listening, I'm sorry, I didn't turn my headset on. I was just using the computer-based microphone. If we are still having little glitches with the audio, let me know, and I'll see what I can do to troubleshoot that. All right, so for let's see, are we live? Pretty sure we're live. Um, so for this video, we are going to go ahead, or for this stream, yep, there we go. So for this stream, we're going to go ahead and do some map art for a Dungeons and Dragons campaign that I'm working on. It's Battlestorm Ragnarok, which is a Dungeons and Dragons campaign that I am uh, GMing with Ted Burgess, who is also here on Twitch, and his Battlestorm campaign will run tonight at 9:30, which I will be streaming live from this channel, and in order to get the player view of the game, and then tomorrow night he's going to be streaming my game live from his channel, and his channel is Dungeon Master Graham. So if you're interested in that, please feel free to stop by. Now, for us right now, I'm going to be drawing a map, and we are using Incarnate, which is an excellent engine for map creation. And I'm going to be drawing a street in the city of Mayo Elise, and then an alleyway and a little bit of a street front, and then also a little bit of a dungeon environment that goes into an alternate world type setting. So we're going to do all of that as part of this map creation. So what we're looking for now is some nice cobblestones, because we're going to be looking for a street kind of texture here. And here's some cobblestones. I'm looking for Fantasy Street. I think maybe this one here. Yes. Nah. Yeah, I think, yeah, this one. So in this location, we have a street that runs by an inn, and then we have an alley that proceeds back from the street. And to a strange lamppost, a lamppost of unlight and or darkness, I guess is probably just a better, more general word. So that gives us a nice little street here. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in and do some finishing work on the edges here. So let's go ahead and shrink our little tool down to size so we can get some more fine edges. And I'm just going to clean up the edges here a little bit. You want a nice sharp look, and smaller means sharper, which is what we're going to do. Want a little bit of blending here. Of course, this background texture we're not going to use at all, so we're just going to overwrite all of that because we want to put something else there. And so this is the street in Mayo Elise that our characters are going to be progressing down. And if you are an adventurer who is taking part in my campaign, Battlestorm Online Ragnarok, which is beginning this Friday at, I think 8:30 or 9. I'll have to confirm that. But if you do happen to be a player in my game, please do not watch this live stream of me making the map art for you guys, because it's going to contain some spoilers. And I don't think you want to have things spoiled for you, do you? But for those of you who are not, please feel free to join in and we can think together about the adventures that my players are going to share. I see someone is hanging out again. Welcome to you if you're lurking. Thank you very much. And if you wish to chat, please feel free, but don't feel obligated to chat if you're just listening. All right, so getting a little finishing on this alley here. So this alley dives behind an inn called the Drift Globe Inn. So I think what I want here is a storefront, but I'm also kind of thinking about, I think maybe I should go ahead and create the dungeon layer, because having that there first will make the editing of my other shops and features on the street a lot easier, because it's going to go into kind of an alternate world environment. So first we're going to go into the stamp tool and we're going to look for a lamppost. And we are using the fantasy battle maps option for Incarnate. Incarnate is a really, really good program for dungeon design. I think a lot of people who run games and use either Foundry or Roll20 have found that Incarnate is an excellent tool, an excellent dungeon master's tool. I think I'm just going to search for lampposts. Let's see if we can find one. Not getting much. What about a street light? Nope. How about just lights? Elven lights. Violet delight. Interesting. Broken lights. Light 2 is very steampunkishy. I kind of like that. Oh. And nothing else. Well, let's see if there's a... Well, there's sconces. Well, let's see if we can improvise. Let's see if there's like a pole or something. Maybe a post. Wooden pole. That's not what I want. Maybe a post. Nope. Pillar. I don't know if I like that. So what I'm looking for right now is just like a post type structure. Maybe we should add in some other stuff. Let's bring in some cities. Maybe there will be lampposts in cities. Right. Let's look at and see lamp. Still oil lamp, light. And this is one thing with Incarnate. You do have to find something to decorate your map with, and oftentimes you have to improvise, which is what I am apparently doing now. All right, let's look again. Let's see if there's anything we can find that. So it's a log. I don't think a log is going to do. Maybe we'll take a look. Tavern. Wooden wall. Oh, these are wall sections. Chopped log. I want something freestanding that casts a shadow. There are some trees that do that, but looking more for a pole or a post. I suppose what I can do is put a lamp on a wall and then add effects to that, which might be what I have to do. I think that's actually, yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. So let's just go ahead and metal wall sconce. And let's orient this. Go ahead and zoom in. So yeah, we are creating a fantasy Dungeons and Dragons map. And right now what we are creating is an entrance to an alternate world dungeon environment, in which there is this lamp which has been infected by the darkness of Svartalfheim, which is slowly breaking into the world of Battlestorm Ragnarok. And I will slay you if you. This one viewer is happens to be one of my players for Battlestorm Ragnarok, because we're getting into some spoilers here. All right, so we've placed our lamppost, and I think what we want also is some walls. So we're gonna go ahead and find some walls. Oh, is that a toilet? Oh my gosh, they have a toilet. Looks like a toilet. I suppose that's supposed to be a sconce, like an empty sconce, but it sure does look like a commode. Oh, here's one without a light. Yeah, maybe we'll use that one. Okay, so we're gonna use the one without the light, and we're gonna go ahead and delete that. Boop. And we'll move this bugger up here. And let's go, maybe bring it back a little bit because we need some space. Okay, and then let's go find us some walls. Okay. Oh my goodness, we have a lot of walls to choose from. This is a very good thing. Snowy stone walls, I don't think we want that. Composite buildings. Rough walls. Massive walls. Platforms. Desert environment walls. Gothic horror walls. See, the thing is, the whole city is not a Gothic horror, just this little alley. I think we'll just go ahead and do some rough walls. That might provide a nice, a little bit of a nice feel for what we're working with here. All right, let's increase the size of our walls here. So we don't want to be putting a bazillion of these things down. So one thing with using Incarnate, it's a lot like building with Legos. You do have to do quite a bit of work when it comes to all this design. As you can see, it's a little work intensive, but it's also pretty fun. And so right now we're just laying down some wall structures for our alleyway here, our dark alley. And bring this down. Ooh, wow, I got exact 270. That was pretty fancy. Did you guys see that? That was cool. And go ahead and place another little wall section here. Yeah, I like the effect of the rough walls. All right, we're going to go ahead and rotate this back. And I got to go all the way. So when you're placing walls, you want to go ahead and orient them, which is what I'm doing. And there we go. 180-degree rotation there. And I'm going to place another wall. See what I'm talking about? It's kind of, I guess if you're like a player of Minecraft, this is pretty standard. You're always throwing up stuff, and I guess you do it really fast, and then this work is a little bit more precise because there's no like auto alignment. So you're kind of um, on your own there. So here we go. We're getting a nice little alleyway set up for us in our map here. And we'll continue to drop these tokens. And so we are building ourselves a nice little encounter for the players. And I really, really like, I don't know, it's just fun building maps in Incarnate. Um, you're not going to build them super fast, but when you do build them, you end up with a really high quality stuff and fun stuff to use in the maps that you build on Roll20 or Foundry, which are the two main programs for dungeon development here. All right, see, we got another section that we're going to drop down. I did just get a new computer. I tried to do this once before and it didn't really work out on my old computer, but it's really working out now, which is nice. And not having anywhere near as much lag or issue with Incarnate. So apparently you need a fancy machine or at least a halfway decent machine to do all the things I want to do, which makes sense. Although I don't know, I'm not like playing Baldur's Gate, which is just crazy. We're just building maps here in Incarnate. If anyone has any experience working with Carnate and wishes to share in the chat, please feel free and be happy to bounce ideas off of you. Still relatively new to it. I've been doing work on Incarnate for fiction writing posts for Hellkey, and I've been using Incarnate primarily to design hellish world environments for Hellkey, and it's been very useful. I still feel like I have a lot to learn when it comes to Incarnate, but continuing to use it, you learn more tricks, and as with anything, you get better at it. And, Incarnate provides quite a few features that help you support-wise, including a nice community on Reddit where I've been posting my artwork, my map art, and that's kind of what I consider to be it's like a map art engine, and that community has been very supportive. I have certainly seen a lot of extraordinarily amazing artwork posted in the Incarnate community. I saw someone post. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Zatarand from the original, I think second edition Dungeons and Dragons monster manual, but it's this massive giant turtle that is the size of an island. It's a giant sea turtle, and it has like the capability of hosting its own community and wildlife and nature on its enormous, like 1,000 feet long or more. And well, someone built a Zatarand type creature in Incarnate, and it was freaking amazing. And I don't know, I can't remember who did it, but wow. I mean that was some serious skill. I do not have such skill. I am still learning, but one day maybe I will be able to do such things. I want to really be able to create some evocative environments for my fiction. I guess that's my hope. But as a writer, you always visualize what you write, but it's very hard to capture your work artistically. As very few writers have a combined writing and artistic talent, and I unfortunately do lack when it comes to the artistry, which is fine. I mean, I don't know. Even if I had artistic talent, I don't know if I want to spend so much of my time drawing characters and things like that. So here we have a nice little street. Oop, looks like we got another space to fill here with our wall. This is the good kind of wall, not the bad kind of wall. Maybe narrow this a little bit here. Well, it's an adventure kind of wall. So I want a nice door here for the drift globe in, and so I'm going to leave a little space there for a door. All right, so we have created our street, our alley. So two key features of our map. And now we're gonna go shopping for a door. Let's go shop for a door. Just a nice indoor is what we're looking for. Kind of. Wow. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Lancet doors, Victorian doors, wooden door, crypt door. This is all Gothic horror. Is that really what I'm going for? Elven door. Yeah, let's see what an Elven door looks like here. Got 1 and 2. Ooh, these are kind of cool. I think I'll go with that. Let's go ahead and bring down the size here. Still got quite a ways to go. And what we are doing is we are placing a nice little Elven door. Elven door. Sounds like a character from a Dungeons and Dragons game. Kind of funny to mention that. All right, we're getting close. I guess we'll go down to 75 and see if we've got, maybe go down to 70. So right now we are placing a door for our inn, the Drift Globe Inn, which is, here we go. Let's see what that looks like. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in because we want this to be nice and accurate. Pretty close. Maybe just a hair back. Yep, that's good. Okay. So we have a nice door feature now for our drift globe in. Oh, and I didn't realize the map was quite a bit bigger. Okay, well, see, there we go. That's what we get for zooming in. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and place some more walls here, which is no big deal. I can't remember the size. Oh, what were they? I think about 150, was it? The dangers. Oh, much bigger than that. Okay. Yes, one of the dangers of using Incarnate is getting entranced by all the various tools and not recognizing how big your map actually is, which is what we just did. I don't think that's the right size. It's close. Yeah, that's about right. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and place some more wall sections here. One other thing to remember while you're using Incarnate is to save. I need to remind myself of that. We are going to call this, what are we going to call this? So I'm also writing a blog post on, well, I'm creating this adventure so that everyone can use it. So if you guys want to have access to our campaign, I am posting the campaign as an adventure module in, oh, I'm sorry, on Scribbler's Fantastic Workshop. Okay, so this is the dim alley and the dark lamppost, which is what we're going to call this map. And so this adventure scenario is the dim alley and the dark lamppost. Which also includes a bit of a dungeon that our players will discover, which we will discover as we create it. All right, so there we go. So we're saving this. I don't know about you, but whenever I create like visual art of any kind, it's very relaxing to me. I don't know. It's a great way to reset. And I don't know. I think we'll just continue working here together for maybe about another 30 minutes at most. We probably won't complete the map in this video, but yeah, we'll get a little far. Get a bit along to completing the map, a bit of the ways. But let's see, that's pretty far down the street here. We should probably throw another door in, don't you think? I mean, it is an inn. I don't know. Maybe even. Nah, let's not complicate things and throw an alley in. So let's throw another door in, because this is I guess a unified street front here. And so let's just create a space for a door, and let's throw a more normal door down here, like a smaller door. So I will go ahead and find another door. Here we go. Beamless stone door. Sure. See how that looks. That's a big. I guess we're gonna have to shrink it down. I think we were down to 70, was it? Might have. I don't know why, but it's like my headgear periodically cuts off. It seems to think that I'm not using it, or I don't know. It must be some kind of power saver feature. I don't know if you guys have Arctis, but I'd be curious to know if there's some kind of setting that you can use that does not cause your headgear to cut off spontaneously at inconvenient points. Okay, so we have two doors. We have an indoor and we have a door to another proprietor. And since we were on the lamppost token recently, I'm going to go ahead and drop a lamppost at the drift globe, because the drift globe actually has a drift globe as a front light for it. And I think we could do some work on trying to find a cool, freaky drift globe kind of thing. But for now, I'm just going to throw this nice little light down here to signify our drift globe. And we're just going to throw this right there, boop, next to the drift globe in. And voila. So we have our street, we have our wall, we have our dark lamppost, and we're going to go ahead and add an effect to our dark lamppost. And let's see, we want I've used one like this before for Helki, and I'm trying to remember what it's called. It's like, there's like an explosion mark on the floor or something like that that you can throw in there, and that's what I'm looking for. Let's see, I think it's probably in the battle maps. Do we have watercolor? So we're going to create a bit of a dark shadowy effect here, which is going to add some mojo. I like these ghostly things. That might be something to work with later. This is mainly working with darkness. So we're going to add some art here so that we can add some options. And I don't remember which set of packs this token was in, but we are just going to go ahead and look. There's some wonderful like spark and shadow effects, as well as smoke. And I've been using that extensively when I create maps for hellish environments. The this is the Incarnate engine doesn't yet have a hell themed terrain feature, and I would really love it if they generate artwork for that. They recently just put out this pack of pretty amazing Elven type art, which is really cool. And I think I must be not like, do I have tags here? Let's see. Let's For some reason, my filter here is limited. And I wonder if it's because of the initial map style that I chose. With Incarnate, as with anything, there's always different things to learn. And here we go. And this is just showing all the tiles, not just the top tiles. All right, I'm gonna look for sparks, maybe. Nope. Fire. Yeah, I think that I've been limited because of the type of map that I'm using. So I think I'm gonna wonder if there's a way. Yeah. Yeah, let's look at the effects. It's not showing the effects. Interesting. And I'm going to go ahead and reset this. And see if we can find. So we are looking for a darkness effect that I want to add to this map. And it is proving a little bit much. I seem to be having a memory here of when you're looking for a Lego piece and you can't seem to find it. And this is I'm dealing with now. Yeah, it doesn't appear that when I click these that, yeah, I guess it is adding them. Okay, well, since we cannot find a stamp effect that is going to do what we want to do, we may just be limited to possibly trying to improvise the effect. I think I can add some shades, so I'm going to go ahead and go back. Let's just pick one here. I'll probably need some rubble at some point anyway. Okay, so I'm going to go back and see if we can add a shade of darkness using the mask tool. All right, so let's open the catalog here. And we're going to go with some shadow. And we're going to use the brush and we're going to put it on the foreground. And we're going to try and create a little shadow around this dark lamppost here. And we're going to make it kind of opaque because we don't want pure darkness here. And we're going to reduce the size just a little bit, maybe down to 15. See what we get. Okay, is this working? Make sure we're on the right layer. There we go. All right, so here we go. We're creating a little bit of a pool of shadow here. And it's possible that I might want to make the whole alley shadowy. So if that, yeah, that opacity is about actually right. So I'm going to go ahead and add this shadow to the whole alley. We're going to kind of start like this, make it like ripply. And so it kind of gives like a little thread of shadow. And maybe some of the shadow will spill out onto the street here. Little wisps. Okay. And so then we are going to fill in this alley and make it all nice and shadowy. See all the wonderful things you can do with Incarnate, even if you can't find the right stamp. So here we have our shadowed alley. It's getting all nice and shady. Don't want it to be absolutely perfect. A little bit of variance creates a bit of a like a texture. There we go. So you also get these cool little warbles of darkness. Maybe get a little bit around this corner here. Kind of maybe just create like a rippling effect, right? There we go. So giving us a, I don't know, maybe shall we say a Cthulhu type feel. So let's shade the corners a bit more. Maybe nice dark corners here. And maybe over here as well, just a little bulge of shadow. So we have a dark alley where the light does not reach. Since we have darkness, we probably also want to create a contrast. We probably want to have some more lampposts out on the street and light pools near these lampposts to give us the kind of contrast that we're going to want, the sense that we want to evoke for the adventurers who are going to be entering this dark alley. Okay, so we've got, I kind of like this, maybe make a little spots of shade that kind of, yeah, there we go. Little spots of shade that kind of spill out into the street here, just inviting you to walk into this open maw of shadow. I like it so much. Oh, hey, somebody is saying hi. Hey, oh, this is from last night. Yeah, my day is going great. I'm sorry if I didn't see you. I have my chat right here on the phone. I haven't yet figured out how to use um, Twitch so I can like see my stuff without showing, the chat. But yeah, the day is going well, and I'm working on my game. Oh, thanks. Yeah, so Yanti1 is another game master from Australia, and I was checking out the dungeon that they were putting together last night, and or it was actually like a gully gulch type scenario where they were going to, I don't know, have some kind of major combat, and it was this really beautiful artwork, map art on Incarnate, and so I kind of got drawn into it. So there were a bunch of us nerdy game masters all chatting on the thread about all sorts of really fun things. And oh, thanks. I'm glad you like the map. Thank you so much. Yeah, so this is for, I don't know, I mentioned Battlestorm, and I'm working on setting up it's this dim alley that the adventurers end up going down there. They're tracking down the mystery, and there's a dark lamppost, and behind the dark lamppost, as you approach, if you manage to gain access to this particular item, it's so the world is in a virtual reality setting that the players are trapped in, kind of much like Sword Art or many of the other anime, where virtual reality fantasy worlds transport real life people into like a virtual fantasy world. And this one is also like like a fantasy world death trap where the players are trapped and the apparatus that they use to project their senses into this world will kill them if they die in game. But also as a little wrinkle to this adventure, when they die in game near certain places where this other realm is starting to intrude. I call it Svartalfheim. When Svartalfheim is starting to intrude, if characters die there, they coalesce into these dark crystalline shards that I call deep shards. And if the characters have a deep shard and they approach this dark lamppost here, they open up a portal to a little node of Svartalfheim, and then they transport themselves into it. So yeah, I know, probably like a really long description. But yeah, for those of you who are hanging out and checking our chat, I recommend that you go check out Yanti's feed. It's really freaking awesome. So, and thanks for stopping in. And if you've got any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer. So, all right, so we have created our alley, our dark alley. We have created our street. And now what we're going to do is we're going to start creating our dungeon setting, which is we're going to go ahead and increase the opacity. And we're going to create a little border here that is going to represent that our characters, our player characters here, are venturing into another world. And we're going to create the dungeon environment back in here. So behind the dark lamppost. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to create like a dark outline. And then I'm going to fill that in with some dungeon related tiles when I am done. And the kind of critters that are back here are, well, there's a Dwergar. These are for first level player characters. There's a Dwergar, and there are a number of goblins who are enslaved by the Dwergar. And so these critters are also little monsters that our player characters are going to have to deal with. And then in addition to that, there is Death Dog. And I think as well there is a Dark Elf. So there's an entryway here, and we're just kind of creating like a rough outline. We're going to throw our dungeon tiles down on top of the outline. And some of the walls are going to be interior walls. So what we're doing right now is we're creating the space that the dungeon will occupy. And you're welcome. I know, more than happy to plug you guys. If you want to throw a link up, go ahead. I think that links are enabled in the chat, so please feel free. And I also want to know if you are still listening, is the audio working? Because I did have a little bit of an issue with the audio in my last stream. And unfortunately, now I'm going to have to reread chapter 17 of Helki, which is the fantasy series that I'm working on. And all right, so we're creating the dungeon outline, and this is going to include multiple rooms. So I'm just going to kind of give like a rough outline here. And in this dungeon environment, we'll probably have about 5 or 6 rooms at most. It's not a whole bunch. It's just a little, I guess, mini dungeon. Oh, and Crow has. Oh, it's tiny bit quiet. Okay. I wonder if how I probably need to maybe up the audio settings here. Oh, there we go. I just muted myself, and it seems to be maximized. I'm talking quietly. Maybe I just need to put the microphone. My wife informs me that I'm talking quietly. Crow, am I talking too quietly? Crow is here to help me with my map creation. Well, thank you for the feedback. I appreciate that. Um, because I am still a streaming noob. I mean, like major noob on streaming. I don't know. I did a bunch of YouTube videos and I still feel like I don't know what the heck I'm doing. Um, it's just probably because I have a writing background, but I don't know. Over time, hopefully I'll pick up a few more tricks of the trade. Apparently I'm still talking quietly. That's what my wife says. So I'm sorry. I don't know. Maybe it's just that map work is quiet work. Perhaps. Okay, so here we have our dungeon environments. I might expand it, but this will probably be large enough. I think I'm gonna make the alleyway about 15 or 20 feet wide, and the entryway here about the same width. We were all noobs once. You'll get there. True. Actually, I'd be curious just to hear how long you've been working with streaming on Twitch and um, building maps in environments like, virtual, I guess, map making, using virtual map making tools like Incarnate. I've been doing it for maybe about, well, Incarnate I've been doing for about 8 months. With Twitch, I think I maybe started like 2 or 3 weeks ago. So yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. But and then Roll20, I think I've been using for about a year, maybe a year and a half now. It's possibly longer. I have this strange sense of time now. I feel like as I get older, time dilates and everything seems to go really fast. So it must be like an old person problem. I don't know. Maybe I'm not that old. People say you're not old. I'm like, yeah, I'm 49. It's old. But okay. So we're gonna switch to like a dungeon tile environment. You've been doing streaming for about a year, a few months on Incarnate. Okay, so apparently I've been doing Incarnate longer than you, but I'm probably nowhere near as good as you. So hey, I haven't really been using Incarnate to make as many maps in D&D as I have for like fictional settings, but that's going to change. So hopefully my learning curve will rapidly increase. Oh, and I don't need stamps. I just need, oh, oh no, I just wiped out all my unsaved changes. Oh my God. See, there we go. We were just talking about feeling like you don't know what you're doing. Well, at least I know what to do now, right? I already built it before. Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. Yep, yep, yeah, I know. It happened to you last night when you were doing it too. Oh my goodness. Um, well, you'll learn the hard way, I guess. Holy cow. All right, so I guess I'm going back to throwing down some tiles. I get distracted kind of easily. I have like hyper focus. Oh, that's cool. A bridge. I don't know where that came from, but these are some pretty cool stamps. All right, well, going back to building our walls again. Um, I think I'm probably going to finish this stream in a little bit. I've got dinner coming up. Um, just practicing a little bit, both live streaming and working with Incarnate. That's a little too big. So let's bring it back down to 200, and then I'll probably finish this map privately. But I had some time, so I thought I would just get online. We do have a live stream tonight for Ted's version. Ted is like the co-DM. He's doing another Battlestorm online, and his is tonight at 9:30. And we're also all still pretty new about it, so we're not super crazy fancy with our D&D live stream. We're just running it in Roll20 and it's I guess more of like a casual kind of gaming environment, but we have a lot of fun with it. So if anyone wants to stop by and hang out, please feel free. Be more than happy to chat with you guys. Yeah, I know. It happened to you last night too, and I remember watching it happen and being like, "Oh no!" Although I don't think you lost quite as much as I did, but maybe you did. It just really sucks when this happens. Um, I don't know. There needs to be an autosave feature. I mean, come on, Incarnate. Because I mean, those of us who are creator types, we were kind of flaky, right? Some of us more than others. But there we go. So, rebuilding this stuff because of my flaky creativity and getting this lined up. Um, but yeah, so we're going to be playing Battlestorm online tonight. I will be streaming it. So because we want a player's view, and I know there's like tools that you can use and different masks, but we haven't really learned them all yet. So I'm going to be streaming Ted's game tonight, and then he will be streaming mine tomorrow night. And his handle is, I think it's Dungeon Master Graham here on Twitch. So if you guys want to check it out, please feel free. And I am looking for door. I am, my brain is not the multitasking type. It is actually Frigid North doorway. I like that. That's kind of pretty. That's big too. Let's bring this down to 100. But yeah, I was watching Yanti One's map making stream last night, and they had all this cool stuff going on. I mean, they had like a game that they were throwing up in chat that people could participate in every so often to, I guess, break up the monotony of map drawing. I don't know. It's, to me, it's not monotonous because it's holding my attention, but I think from a like a viewing point perspective, it's a bit, I don't know. It could be. I enjoy watching it, especially just as a like a social endeavor to hang out, see what other people doing are, what other creators are doing here on Twitch, which I don't know. I really particularly like the Dungeons and Dragons community. Everyone is just so supportive and focused on creation and having fun. And it's one of the things that drew me to Dungeons and Dragons in the first place, way back when I was a little. Uh, oh, you've got some D&D going on in 8 hours. Is are so you basically doing a role play session, or did you decide you were gonna throw them into the heat? I know you were talking a bit more about like a role play, but combat definitely, at least for me, requires a bit more. I can tend to wing the role play as long as I know what the NPC's goals are and what their sensibilities, their mojos happen to be. But yeah, yeah, I don't know. This game, I kind of feel like I need to put a lot more oomph into, um, because I'm actually creating all the materials for the game on my blog site so that other people, if they want, can use it. And so I want to have at least a decent presentation. Of course, this is all for free, so this is a work of love for me. So let's go ahead and throw another lamppost down here. And of course, here I am getting distracted again. I wanna I wanna talk and not draw. You guys are too cool. No, thank you. Well, it's so we have a pretty vital Discord community of gamers that I play with, and there's now about 50 people. Oh, no, it's not your fault. It's me. I like have the hyper focused brain, so that's just me. No, please do not apologize. So I'm just going back. Actually, this because I messed up. Ooh, I better save. Yep, save. Because I messed up, this second iteration is probably going to be better. That's the one thing about making a mistake. You know, you learn, and then your revision is even better. I mean, God knows I've like revised things a bazillion times with writing, um, but yeah. So we have a pretty vital Discord community, and my niece is going to be playing um, in one game that I'm running, and you know, she's got some friends that are interested in gaming and she's going to be going to college soon. So I kind of think, well, maybe, you know, some of these materials might be helpful for her too. So I don't know. I just want, you know, people to, you know, if I develop a tool set or, you know, something interesting, or maybe like a monster or a magic item that people want to use or a concept in game, um, more than happy, you know, to share it. And it's just fun. Okay, let's see here. I want to draw some shadows. So brain, there we go. Shadow. So we're gonna recreate our dark alley, and really appreciate you hanging out with me because it's just making this so much more fun. And I hope your work is going well for your game. Um, what I saw of it last night was really darn cool, and I bet your players are very lucky. Some of the comments that you made make me feel like you are a very um, yeah. So I'm sorry. So for some reason my headset tends to cut out now and then. Um, so yeah, some of the comments that you made in the feed last night made me think that you are a very empathetic game master who cared a lot about their players, which is always really cool to see. And some of the advice you were giving to men's, I don't, men, I kept thinking of it as men's because he had like a relatively long tag, but the advice was really good. And, you know, especially with his like intelligence trap, which I thought was a really fantastic and creative idea. But, you know, of course, like as a new game master, you're always trying to find that balance between what's going to be challenging, but in a fun kind of way, but also maybe not too challenging where your players think, oh my God, everything is pointless. And and so you want to have that nice tension in game and danger and you know, part of Dungeons and Dragons is definitely a risk of death. I mean, but if your players are feeling like, oh, everything is futile, then that's really not fun either because, you know, being a hero involves, well, you know, a little heroism, right? So I thought your advice was fantastic. And I don't know, when people say they're new game masters and they have a lot of like awesome ideas like this guy had, I think a guy, I don't know. But I don't know. I kind of feel like you know, I have to try to be a little bit of like a voice of um, a helpful concern, maybe. Uh, because I don't know. I remember being a game master and being like way too lethal accidentally early on. So maybe it's just me. Um, I don't know. I have a bit of I like to try and take my players on a bit of a carnival ride. I like to make them feel scared because I think that's part of the thrill, you know, part of the fun of possibly feeling a little bit of horror. It's not a horror game, but horrific elements are fun to add. Um, yeah, so um, yeah, exactly. Like always giving the players option to say themselves like things in the environment that can, you know, help them influence the challenge, you know, positively if they think on their feet or um, not creating like absolutes, whereas like things like auto kill you, or just like really take away the things that make your character awesome, or make a character awesome, like completely nerfing spells, for example, or vice versa, completely nerfing the ability to do well with weapons or in melee. Rather kind of like shades of difference and features that create that really nice feel of like granularity and problem solving that we so love as gamers. But yeah, I see there where you said that you also accidentally one shot two players that had never been one shot before. So yeah, as a game master, you can kind of get carried away sometimes, and I don't know. I sometimes you really like your monsters. You're like, oh, I'm gonna root for Team Monster, and sometimes you root for Team Monster just a little too much. It's cool to have compelling monsters, absolutely, and villains. But we are storytellers, and we want to give our players the spotlight and the ability to have agency. I like that word, agency. It's a nice word for a cooperative storytelling game. But yeah, so I don't know, kind of gone off a little bit on a tangent, but we had a lot of fun talking to a new game master, and I think he had so many good ideas. So here we are back at the Shadowed Alley. I kind of really like my second Shadowed Alley a lot more, a little bit more warbled in the appearance, or marbled. Warbled is a sound, marbled is a visual. And I better save. So, Star Manglers are more lethal than I thought. Yeah, I guess this is one of your original monsters, a Star Mangler. I haven't heard of it. Um, if it is an original monster, sometime like maybe post a stat somewhere, and you know I'll use it and credit you if the if I have a scenario. Oh, they are in D&D Beyond. Okay. Um, cool. Yeah, I will have to check them out. I have not seen the Star Mangler. Is this a third-party content, or there are so many books now, even in the Wizards of the Coast content, that that you can lose track. But so yeah, so Star Mangler, something to watch out for as a game master for one-shotting players. And now I'm gonna have to look up Star Mangler when I'm done with my map art. This is so fun hanging out. See, game masters should do this. You just hang out, create art, and then when you know they're doing their feed, creating their art or whatnot, um, you can hop over and just chat. This is really cool. Um, and okay, so this is all right. Let's see. It is 6:30. I could probably go for another 10 minutes, maybe. I go ahead and save my changes. I didn't do a lot, but now I'm paranoid. But good luck with your game tonight. Or, yeah, I guess it's tonight. You're way over there in Australia, I suppose. I think that's what you were saying last night. I hope your game goes well, and that you and your players have a blast. All right, so now I am going to try to make the outline for my dungeon environment again. I'm gonna try and make it a little bit more like wavery here. I'm gonna be throwing map stuff in, but kind of want to make like a a little bit of a otherworldly effect as a border here. And so we're gonna definitely have some more definite shapes and forms, but on the inside. And oh, you know what? There's a tool for this, right? Duh. Okay, I'm going to go back and start over again. Do do do. And because there's just like different kinds of brush settings, and there's one that kind of creates like a modeled texturing, which I like. So we're going to do that to create our otherworldly appearance. So that is so much better than what I was doing freehand. I think I should have been doing that with the shadows as well. Oh well. Mhm. And yep. So we're going to create our otherworldly dungeon layer here. As the characters venture off into a node of Svartalfheim. And so I don't know if you're still checking out, but I'm curious, I mean, if there's any kind of media that inspires you as a game master. Is it, fiction books, or are you kind of into anime, or you more just kind of like a gaming purist? Um, it focuses on works created by Wizards of the Coast and others in the Dungeons and Dragons setting, or kind of a mashup, because this time period does seem to be almost a like a golden age of creativity for gaming of all varieties, and for media with all these various different media streaming services. Oops, here we go. Mm. Oh my God, Incarnate. Dad Beard Dungeon. Yes, this is Incarnate. Oh my gosh, there's so many people that use Incarnate these days. Everyone that welcome Dad Beard and Dragons. um, yeah, I'm making a map. I'm a game master, and I'm using Incarnate, and we are. I'm. There's many of you that are probably going to grin when I say this, but I'm going to load this into Roll20. There, Foundry does look just so good, and I really want to use Foundry, but I'm kind of afraid I'm going to intimidate my players who don't presently use D&D Beyond. And I am still El Cheapo and haven't gotten myself either a subscription to D&D Beyond, which I probably am going to need to do at some point. But I know D&D Beyond is really nice. I like, for me though, I kind of like the character sheets that have everything visible, and D&D Beyond hides so much of the stuff and does so much of the stuff for you that it can kind of, I don't know. I almost feel like I have to have my own like character sheet as well as D&D Beyond, because I want to see everything. Let's see. Yanti1 says, I made a steampunk. Ooh, steampunk Victorian setting. Oh, that's so cool. What do you think, Crow? What do you think about steampunk? Huh? You want to be a steampunk kitten? We're going to put you in some whoosh whoosh kind of like battle armor. Be a battle cat. Make you a nice tabaxi. Huh? How about that? Victorian steampunk. Oh, that is awesome. League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. That sounds awesome. Now, I'm not familiar with the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, so I'm going to have to go look it up. So thank you. You have added to my repertoire, or I guess palette of things to inspire me. And Dad, Beard, and Dragons. So what is your world setting that you're making, Dad Beard? Because I would be very interested to hear your thoughts. I mean, of course, if you don't want to share them, please, because some of us, when we are in the creative process, we're not quite yet willing to share, which is totally understandable. So if you do not want to share it, that is cool too. But I'm curious if you wish. And I'm sure some of the folks that we hang out with might also be interested as well. All right, so I'm looking for some, actually, you know what? I will not back up again. I will save because, oh my God, Incarnate will eat your work, right? Um, and I'm going to look for some tiles in the painting section here when we were done saving. It is nice to have a kitten with you when you are creating. It is just so nice to have a kitten that's willing to sit in your lap and chill out with you. And I swear Crow would make an amazing Dungeons and Dragons character. Isn't that right, Crow? All right, so I think we want something like this for our dungeon tiles. So let's throw down some dungeon tiles. Oh, okay, I see. This is interesting. It's creating like a broken kind of gap. I don't like this. Let's go back. There we go. And we will do something else. I see. So when you highlight this, it comes out of this weird like spectral background in the gaps, and I guess that's showing you that the it's going to show the color of the background. This is interesting. This is treasure. Okay, so you can make a nice treasure hoard. That is awesome. That is something that I have not seen before. Maybe because I just didn't look closely enough. Okay, I think I use this for the streets. Mossy rocks. No, I'm looking for something more tilish. Sewer. Yeah, sewer might work out. I think I'll go ahead and go with sewer here. Here we go. So throwing down some. Oh, yes, yes, that's right. So we had the mottling. Yeah, this is very nice. I like this. So I'm curious. Is every game master now working with Incarnate here on Twitch, or oh, here we go. Oh wow, awesome. Someone, yeah, Dad Beard and Dragons is throwing down his thoughts on his fantasy world. Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of love and creativity that goes into um, making games, and this is definitely true, and worlds for your games. I mean, it is an art form being a dungeon master. Um, it's and especially when you're creating your own worlds, but even when you're running games in other people's worlds because you're adding life to someone else's work, bringing it to light in a way like a production, almost like a theater production for a small group of people. And now, since we're live streaming our games, there are people who consider watching the games to be entertainment, which is just amazing to me. And yes, certainly there's things that people do to make their games more entertaining, like hiring gamer actors and things like that. It's all amazing. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it is really nice to take part in this creative process and to encourage others to do the same. And that's one of the things for me, at least, that makes Dungeons and Dragons so cool. So I am going to go back and read these comments. It's like I do not have eyes in the back of my head. Yanti does. Like like just able to like read the comments and do artwork at the same time. I don't know how. It's like a magical ability. Okay, so mm, a cosmic arcane atom bomb. So like a magical explosion that leaves all this like after effect, like magical radiation. That's cool. I like that idea. Um, ooh, a shattered supercontinent where 5 gods gather their people, ooh, to protect them. Okay, that's cool. So each landmass or each region has its own guardian god. That's pretty badass. I like that. I could see some serious flavor for each continent, particularly as far as culture goes, and the god itself kind of in these cases becomes a patron of different themes. So this sounds original to me. I have not seen anything like it before. Um, so this sounds really awesome. Your players are lucky to have you. Let's see. It's lasted for 10,000 years. Oof, that's some history. And I'm way behind on the comments. You guys are probably like far ahead of me. But yeah, the other neat thing about putting Dungeon Master heads together is that it really does get the creative juices flowing. So, someone has an idea and it's amazing how the mind works. You might have a completely different idea and yet that was inspired by something someone else did. Um, I don't know. I kind of have the curse of having too many ideas and I can't keep up with them all. um, the actual work goes into the creation process, which is a lot slower than having the idea. But the idea part itself is really important. Um, and and without the ideas and I guess the love of your ideas, I guess in a way, like they're your children of your thought, right? So you gotta care for them. You can't be cynical about them. You gotta give them what they deserve, right? Um, then the ideas don't flourish. You gotta let them flourish. You gotta give them the support they need. I don't know. I'm getting all philosophical again. That's me. um, but this campaign saying sounds really awesome, and I also love the campaign setting that Yanti was working on earlier as well. You guys should go check it out. And if anyone wants to throw links into the thread to let us know where you're streaming your games or where we can learn more about your games, please feel free. All right, hey. So now I have a very basic matte environment for my Alt Worlds dungeon. I'm just gonna go and make sure some of this mottling is still integral. It's pretty cool looking. I'm gonna have to throw down a different pad because here there are like buildings, so we're probably gonna end up throwing down some roofs. And I don't know, this back area here might just end up being like kind of grayed out because I'm not sure if I want to make another street. I could do that. We'll see. It'll probably take us too much time. What is this? 6:46 now. I keep saying I have to go in like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, but I think I can continue to work for a little bit longer on this. It's really fun hanging out with you guys. Let's see. Yeah, Fallout 4 vibes, definitely. Mm, wow, this is really cool. You guys definitely should check out what Dad Beard and Dragons is doing back there in the chat. Um, Daiju Taiki. I wonder, so is Daiju Taki inspired by a creature from Japanese culture, Shinto myth, perhaps? I'm not familiar with it. Some of these others are familiar to me, though. Mm. Yeah, so this notion of magic as radiation is again kind of cool to me. It gives me like a little bit, harkens back at least to me being like an old ass gamer. Twilight, like Twilight 2000 or Gamma World. Some notions, but of course more in a fantasy setting and where magic substitutes for actual IRL radiation. So, okay, so I'm looking for walls before I get too distracted. Mm, I guess we will go back because I don't want to use the rough walls, the same walls that I used in the city. What is that? Farm roll. No. Mm, mud brick walls. Let's look at walls because there's a lot of walls. It's amazing to me how popular Incarnate has become just generally, or at least maybe it shouldn't be so amazing to me. It is just a really good tool. Mm, Gothic horror. Yeah, yeah, let's go ahead and use some Gothic horror walls. Crypt walls. Mm, yeah, I think I like the crypt walls. All right, and let's make this not so big. So let's see. Uh, oh, like this nice merger of Elysium and Sealy, which makes sense. Elysium is kind of this Fey heaven, right? So it does make sense that there would be Fey in Elysium, the Elysium fields. That's a little too big. Um, Now, unfortunately, whenever I think of Elysium, because I like my exposure to Elysium was before the movie The Gladiator, I had kind of like a different sensibility about what Elysium might be. But of course, in The Gladiator, the main character speaks a lot about Elysium in the opening scene, where he talks about, if you die in battle and you find the fair winds of Elysium blowing through your hair. Of course, I'm mangling it completely, but I do remember the scene. Um, but yeah, Elysium is definitely one of those realms I think that hasn't gotten as much attention. I mean, a lot more attention has been given to the Feywild, and I kind of see Elysium as possibly a similar place. Of course, occupied by the gods or the primal spirits of the Fae. Ooh, nice little bends here. I kind of like that. Although I think I want to go. I'm gonna need to alter that actually because that bend is not sharp enough. Hmm. Mm, Oh, nice. So working on some of the cultures here and working on like a Norse and Viking influences, which are always fun. Like the Icelandic and German words are really, I find, quite fun to use in fantasy type settings. Let's see, like sometimes when I like running a character or something, I'll use words that are Germanic or similar to German. I'll just, of course, sometimes just make them up. But for example, like Shadow Blade, the spell, um, I like to make like little incantations for some of the spells for some of my characters. So one of my characters is a blade singer, and she often uses Shadow Blade, and like to her, it's a moon shadow blade. She like draws it from the shadow of the moon. And so when she makes the incantation, she says Lunin sfert umbra, which is, Lunin is moon, um, umbra is shadow, and sfert is blade in Germanic. So the words I find really roll well together for spells, and they're fun to play with. But um, it's not always easy to find good words for spells. Let's see. Uh, ooh, yeah, this world that Dad Beard and Dragons is working on is fantastic. You guys should check it out. Okay, let's see. I gotta bring it all the way around. I wish you. Hmm, I think the audio is back on. I'm gonna have to check. Yes, it is. Okay. Yeah, my Arctic headsets, they really want to turn off, which is unfortunate because I have to turn them back on. But I'm going to have to go soon. Thank you guys for hanging out with me while I did my map drawing. Um, and I have to, I guess, in a way, rush this to completion probably tonight. I don't know if I will live stream the rest of it because I get so distracted so easily by all of you really fun folk and fellow game masters, which is it's just so nice to be able to connect to all of you. And I know Yanti is going to have a game later tonight in about 7.5 hours. So you should definitely check her feed out. They seemed like really organized. Like all the players were doing cool stuff too. So I mean, in her feed, and I mean, the composition of the feed and all the filters and everything just looked really nice. It was just very pleasant. And the story ideas that I heard coming off seemed really amazing. So please check her out. I'm sure you guys will have a lot of fun. I will try to pop in for a little while. And Dadbeard and Dragons, if you've got your feed set up and are ready to run some games, let us know when they'll be, and please feel free to put in a link to your game in chat. And I'd be more than happy to stop by and, you know, at least watch for about an hour or so, hang out and give you some good vibes. Um, but I think I am gonna head on out, guys. Thank you so much. It's been awesome chatting with you guys, and thanks for sharing the great ideas. And we'll talk to you soon.